So today we're heading out to Brooks, Alberta to visit the Niznik Farms. It's a family-run farm. We're gonna get down to what makes their beef some of the best in Alberta. Hopefully we can get a farm-to-table experience out of this. We can go see the cattle, check everything out, talk to them, see how it's raised, what it's fed. Then we can bring some of it back here and show you guys how to prepare it properly. Tried too hard to see what I just couldn't seem to be. And even with my eyes closed. Hi guys, welcome back to the Chef2K's kitchen. As you can see, we're not in the kitchen today. We've taken a little field trip to beautiful Brooks, Alberta, where we're gonna learn a little bit about beef.
I'm Bruce Niznik. We're at our feedlot today outside of Brooks. We call this Antelope Creek.
I'm Brad Niznik, his brother. We farm together with my dad and my uncle as well right now. And fourth generation, 104 years we've been here in Antelope Creek.
100 years you guys have been here on this property raising cattle, and you guys have kind of started to take it in your own direction, I take it, eh guys?
We came home from college in early mid-90s, and Dad and Uncle Jack, they allowed us to take on some of the management decisions and more of them, and yeah, use some of our ideas.
Awesome. So now they're kind of gone in the direction of certified Angus beef, and we're talking about some of the best beef you can get in Alberta. They're also a partner producer with Brant Lake Wagyu, which I've used that product in many different situations, and honestly, it's some of the best stuff you're going to get out of Alberta, which is cattle country in my mind. All right, we're here at the feedlot, and these guys are going to show us a little bit about what they do before they send their cattle off for finish. You guys are sending to two different places, I take it? Like you got your certified Angus?
Calves are from, our bull battery is predominantly from Cudlow Angus, and they're a purebred producer at Staveley. And they started focusing on what's under the hide in their cattle just to get better grading and stuff, and we've kind of followed their model.
Okay, so when they say looking under the hide, guys, they're talking about the fat quality and the meat that this cow is going to produce, this genetic line, am I right?
Yep.
So so what we're looking at here, is this a different breed of cow than what's over there, or is this all the same?
Well, these are our Angus cows.
This is the Angus,
yeah.
Okay.
And you'll see some graze, and that's from a neighbor's bull.
Okay.
But, where we run some Stettler.
Okay, Stettler.
So
Nice.
that's what the Charolais cross with Angus.
So we've got your certified Angus here. This is a different breed than what we were looking at over there.
These would have all been bred by purebred Angus bulls, except for the Charolais, which Brad said was a neighbor. Yeah, and then you can see we used Hereford. That's where a couple of those white faces still show up after 20 some years. Like these cattle, they look the same as every other animal, right? Any other Angus steer will look the same as these. The sires of these calves, our whole bull battery is in the top 8% of the Angus breed for marbling, and the top, I believe, 12% for ribeye size.
So they still go to grading market after butcher, right? And then that's when they get their final grade. Where's most of this stuff ending up?
Yeah, 200 of these steers are gonna go into Bennett's feedlot out in Ontario. He bought the calves this fall at the Cudlow Influence sale, and he fed them last year as well.
And then once these hit market, is there a certain place they're going? Is there someone that's buying up most of it? Is it sticking around?
He sticks them into Cargill.
Yeah.
Cargill Guelph out there.
He's only 40 miles from Cargill, Guelph.
Okay. So every feedlot has their own thing and their own way that they're finishing the cow.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's a typical day look like for you guys out here?
No such thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, farm life is not as typical as most people would think it is.
Well, usually we've got to be feeding the calves basically half an hour after the sun comes up, because they're just used to getting feed, and consistency in feeding is what keeps their guts healthy and whatnot. So yeah, you feed a load then, and we'll come in and probably lay some straw down every 3 days in here. And then you'll feed another load just before lunch, and then a load after lunch. I guess the goal is to not let them have a bad day. Right?
That's exactly it. We reached into the Kobe beef in an episode that we did, and after researching how they raise this cattle and what they do with them, you can tell they're looking for the same thing. They don't want these cows to have a bad day. They start their morning with a fresh bucket of cold beer. They get fed sake, they get massaged, like they're literally in a spa, these cows. So okay, so what do you guys feed these cows, and why is that important to get your Angus, your triple A quality beef?
What we've heard is that, you know, the ability to marble starts at conception, and you need to give them all the tools to utilize the marbling that you've given them. So these calves right now, they're on kind of a slower grower ration, but you give them the energy so that the fat is still there in the meat, ready for when they go on the hotter ration, I guess, and then there'll just be more of it then.
So what practices do you guys use that differs you from other beef suppliers and farmers in this area and around here?
For us with the cow herd, we graze standing corn, which saves us a ton of labor and hours on tractors. And that's probably the predominant thing around here, as well as banking grass, irrigated grass for spring grazing. Same
and that's
thing
where you ferment this, like, is that the spring grass or like?
No. So we actually only have to feed, typically, ideally, we only feed about 3 weeks a year here.
Okay.
Yeah, feed the cows.
Yeah, and the rest they do themselves.
Yeah.
All right, we moved ourselves over. We were at a different breed. Is it a different breed of cattle that we've got here?
It is. Now the sires of these, so the bulls on these are full-blood Wagyu bulls. And it's on the same Angus cows, so we breed our heifers, our first calf heifers, to Wagyu bulls. And then, so the offspring here are half-blood Wagyus. And they will go into the Brant Lake Wagyu program.
So if it's half, so once they finish, they finish it in their way, and then it's classified as Wagyu beef, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So Brant Lake Wagyu, guys, is one of the best Wagyu providers in Alberta, in Canada, I'd say. Would you guys say that? Like, Brant Lake is known through all through Canada. Like, is one of the best, finest producers. I didn't even know that before I came out here. Like, that's insane.
Okay.
Like, that's awesome to know that I got to come out here.
And that's one of the things, like, and I guess what got us into the Wagyu was when you go to an Angus bull sale, the most expensive bulls at the sale are the low birth weight, high performance bulls, which is exactly what you want when you're breeding your heifers, because you want a low birth weight so they can have them naturally, don't have to touch them. Wagyu gives us that. They give us the low birth weight, and they supply us with the bulls, so we didn't have to compete for those really expensive bulls anymore.
And then you're still getting that product at the end, though, so it's all good. So this is pretty much all going to Brant Lake, this field right here.
Yeah, this whole, but yeah, basically everything that's black in here is a half-blood Wagyu.
So when these cows leave here, they head to the Brant Lake, wherever they're going to finish them. And then how long do they finish them still before market?
About 400 days.
400 days?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're doing a 400-day feeding process that gets them to what they want, their quality, and...
Yeah. They found it takes just a nice slow feed to get them to grade as well as good as they want. Yeah. Right? Achieve that really high. Because on these calves, like the calves from our place over there, around 90% of them will be primes out of these Wagyu cross calves. And it's funny, most of them don't look much, a whole bunch different than a straight Angus calf do. They just got, like this one here, you know, they got they got a little narrower head and not so much hind end on them.
It's really amazing to be out here to meet you guys and to see, like, farming is a family operation, and this is definitely a family operated farm. Am I right, guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's beautiful to see. That's what keeps that family home life and those family home cooked recipes, guys, that we've been talking about. And I think it all comes from the heart of farm country and that family atmosphere that you get out here. All right, now we're here. This is a very important part of the process. This is their feed. I just found out that everything you see here is actually coming from their land. They farm all their own feed. That's all their land back there. And they're gonna tell you a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so the calves, we give them a total mixed ration. Over here we have some pellets. That's the only part of the feed that comes off the farm. And that has rumensin in it. That's a feed additive so that prevents bloat. Okay. and it just keeps their gut health very good. And then vitamins and stuff that might not be in the feed. So we just make sure it's healthy. Now this stuff was grown here, and then you put it through a tub grinder, and that is grass hay and an oats green feed, and you cut it up into this size, because calves in the bunk, if you have it too long, like they'll sort out a piece like this and won't eat it.
Oh, really?
So you want it cut up into pieces like that, and then when it gets mixed in, they can't separate it with they can sort feed. Really, yeah, quite a fit.
They're not getting the balance of what they need?
Correct, or they'll just go in and eat the candy and not eat right? Yeah, and this is good, just Western Canadian barley. Now, whenever you roll it, you see, what you're trying to do is crack every kernel.
Yeah.
You can see, and this is kind of not a plump kernel that isn't cracked. But the idea is the rumen bugs can get at it then. If this was more like a dust, that would be too fine, and the rumen bugs would be able to attack it too quick, and then you'd bloat your cattle. Or overload.
So you're controlling the bug, the rumen bug.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, as much as you can.
You're trying not to upset the rumen bug is what you're trying to do. And then this here is the corn silage.
It almost smells like beer.
Oh, you almost want to roll in it. It smells so good.
This is great.
Yeah, and like you said, the taste of it is.
See the corn. I thought it tasted amazing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm telling you, like that, the taste of that corn, like I want to figure out a way to turn that into a dish. I'm not kidding you. It's a great taste. It can be used in so many ways.
Yeah, and then when we get through this pile, then we'll get onto that pile.
Then you bring that in.
Yeah. And then if we have some left over from the for the year when we're not feeding cattle, you can seal it up and keep it in prime condition
for the next year. Perfect.
Yeah.
Wow, I'll tell you guys, it's not like you're just buying a cow, letting it go out into the field, eat grass all day and do its own thing. These guys have got quite the process on how they're feeding these animals, and it's pretty amazing. Okay guys, we've been out here freezing our butts off in beautiful Brooks, Alberta, and we are now about to wrap things up. We got to learn a lot about certified Angus beef, and we got to learn about Wagyu beef as well. So we're gonna hopefully get a piece of their product, take it back to the kitchen, and we're gonna have a taste and see why Alberta beef is the best beef in the world.